Hey guys, Lord Hedgehog here, and welcome to a different type of MultiVersus video. I have previously done the showcase of the skins that came out during out MultiVersus per season, at least for like season 2 and 5 and as well 4. Uh, but there's another part of the game that I haven't actually been able to show off until now, and since at the moment of this recording of the video, we're down to the last 2 weeks until Multiverse officially gets pulled from online support and all that stuff. I figured to do at least one last little show off thing of Multiverses and just show off, I guess, how much of the game I have in terms of all the cosmetics and stuff. And this includes basically everything else. I've talked about the skins, but I never talked about the emotes, the stickers, the banners, ring animations, badges, basically almost everything else that Multiversus has beyond the skins. So, let's get into it. First off, I do have some things to say. One, I did talk about the Aquaman skin in the previous video for the Season 5 skin showcase. Turns out that one where the one Aquaman skin I mentioned about him being shaved, that's from the new, the True 52 series. I think the same one as the Raven costume was. Uh, so at least there's that. But I also found out that the Powerpuff Girls did also have an unreleased skin as well, with the hypergalactic puppet variants of the girls. So the Powerpuff Girls actually has an unreleased skin too. So now they can join in with some characters who didn't get a new skin because, as I predicted, since the Player First games officially being closed down by Warner Brothers, the skins I talked about, like the Jason one, Gizmo, um, Lola Bunny, all that stuff, not in the game. We have not seen these skins at all since after the mid-season patch. So unfortunately, those skins have never came out in the game. So I think I made the smart choice by making that video earlier than just waiting for it. So yeah, that's disappointing to see. But anyway, let's just show off what else is in Multiverses beyond the skins. So, first off, we're just going to look at the emotes first.
Hope you're not
Here.
holding back on my account.
Thanks, Nations bit. One thing I'll be quickly showing off is the stickers. Stickers are just kind of quick little things to show off, little emotions the player has, or add more salt to the wound, I guess. Starting off, we have Alone Time Please, which just shows off Raven getting angry. Bad Joke with the Joker taking a picture in his killing joke outfit. Birth of a Rival, which does the two women yelling at the cat meme with Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman here because memes, funny. We just have a Black Adam angry emote here. Fish Finder, just having Aquaman, trying to find fish. Giant loves snow, having Iron Giant just being happy to have some snow while he has a carrot for a nose. This is fine, having Jake doing the Fire Dog meme, because of course. Pop Rain Dog, yeah, it's just the popping. I think it's the cat or the dog meme. I don't know. It's just Rain Dog doing a meme. Oh my glob, having Finn just being impressed. Mog Y having Gizmo be in pain, I guess. LeBron just smiling. Is this flirting? Having Marceline doing the one of the flirting things, I guess, from the Distance Lands special. So there's that. And then we got the Troll Dog with the other half of that Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman one with Rain Dog doing the cash thing. Then we just have a broken heart thing, just, well, showing off a broken heart. Burnt toast. A clap emote. Coldest shoulder, just, I guess, just showing how cold things are. Dad throwing horns, having I guess, Raven's dad just doing the rock and roll symbol. Respects, pay F for respects. Rebound, which is probably just a shield projectile thing. Pound it, of course, having Finn and Jake doing their war fist. Lightning bolt. Ginger bats, having a Batman gingerbread cookie. First try. a stack of jammies. I know you said that wrong. Snack of jams with Scooby Snacks. Steven Universe with Steve and the Stars. What You Get, having a present opening. You Son of a Bat, having Batman and Superman doing the Predator meme of Arnold Schwarzenegger and the other actor doing the the clap thing in the movie. A plus Bozo, just having an A plus. Anger, easy enough to say. Just having it in here with Finn being happy. Feel the beat with just a heartbeat. Exclamation, symbol. Bugs Bunny with hearts coming out of his eyes. Beckon, like, that teasing, like, hey, come on, bro, fight me. Batman just being mutual. The GG, good game. Harley just getting mad. The Iron Giant just being happy with a smile. A Jack-o'-lantern. Jake sweating. And also him winking as well. That Velma being surprised. A Tank's another, clap thing. A question mark thing. The one emote I've seen a lot, which is Past the Salt, because obviously people get salty. No, having was Finn doing the iconic face meme. Let It Snow, with a snowman getting covered in snow. 100%. Boom. Butter toast, double D. Just a fire emote. Garnet with stars having her triple eyes. Harley going crazy. They're just a toast together. And then finally Shaggy crying. So that's all the stickers, at least, that every character can have, equipped. But now, let's go to the emotes. I'm going to try my best to work around this from the sound perspective, because, again, I don't know how it sounds in my end of the recording, but we'll go Agent Smith here, where he has 2 additional skins beyond the default one, which is the default skin. The default taunts are usually just the character's animation when you load them up. That's usually a lot of these taunts are usually like for the default characters. But Agent Smith has 2 additional taunts that he can have. One is the Dance of Spoons, which is a legendary. This one actually, meaning this one costed like 10,000 galenium to buy, which has him dancing with a bunch of spoons, like it's Mickey Mouse with the, the brushes, the sweeping brushes from Fantasia. But as well, we also have a Shade Stomp, which has him destroying his shades before putting on a new one. I think this one was a part of the Prestige Store items. I think that's what it is. So, yeah, Agent Smith has 2 additional taunts that you can equip for him here in the game. So that's all Agent Smith's emotes, anyway. Next up is Aquaman, who has 2 additional taunts with a Treat Break. I believe this one actually was given out as a part of the free passes for things. Like, I think you can get this for free on Steam. This was part of PlayStation Plus. So, they get at least 1 free taunt with Aquaman straight away when you also get him as well. But there's also the Pomeroy, which was, I think, a part of the Battle Pass, which has Aquaman, blowing up with a squid. So that's at least with Aquaman, because then he has his normal default animation for his taunt. So that's at least for Aquaman. Arya has 3 additional taunts as well with her. One just simply having her yawn at others. A flourishing driving, which has her bowing down to people. And then finally, her just laughing at people. But she does have one of the more, it's her victory animation for her default animation. But at least in comparison to Agent Smith and Aquaman, at least it's not the standard, default animation. At least it's the victory animation that plays here for Arya. So that's her taunts, anyway.
I survived worse than you, but you won't be able to say the same of me.
Peanut butter jelly adventure time!
Yeah, Benedict has 2 additional taunts, with, of course, one being peanut butter jelly time, with him, having the sulkas shaking around. I think it was bound to happen with Benedict that he would get a taunt like this. We also have Mama Says, which of course has him doing another form of dance here, just without the the suckers. And then we have his
Hello.
typical, default animation with his hello speech. So Benedict got two additional taunts.
Got a batarang with your name on it.
Batman has three additional taunts, but the first one being the stealth snack, which of course is based on that iconic meme of animation meme of Batman just eating the hot dog in the style of the Batman animated series style. So it's cool to have like at least some memes showing up here and there. We also have accidental bomb, which has Batman accidentally setting off a smoke bomb too early.
Scout. Misfire.
And then finally we have the utility belt, which has Batman going through his utility belt looking for the right thing. It's Batman has some of the more funnier taunts, and you get to have more unique lines out of Kevin Conroy as a result, based on the two Pacific taunts here. So, and then we have his I think this is his victory animation, I think, as well, like Arya. So at least Batman has that. Beetlejuice only has one additional taunt in the game, which has the ghost with the most. Of course, having him with him dancing there, with of course the sign showing up. At least, when it comes to the sign showing up there with his name on it. That's only the only taunt Beetlejuice has. Otherwise, he just has his normal animation for his other taunt. So Beetlejuice only has one taunt in the game. Black Adam has two additional taunts in the game with Entertain Yet, which has him, of course, just asking like, "Hey, y'all enjoying this?" And then you have him being a thumbs down, adding more salt to the wound, after he beats the shit out of people. And then we have his normal default animation for his taunt. So at least Black Adam got two additional taunts. Bugs is one of the few characters in the game that has four additional taunts, with one being Pie's the Limit, having Bugs Bunny eating a pie right there and then. Another one is Toodle Star, which of course has Bugs Bunny waving goodbye at people. We have him having a tease animation, just teasing around. And then we have a tap dance emote. But as well, we also have his victory animation. We also have his victory animation as an emote as well here. But again, Bugs is one of the few characters that has four additional taunts. So there's a few other characters also that have this too. But that's Bugs Bunny's taunts anyway. Finn also has only two additional taunts, with a chest pound with him just screeching. We have him, of course, doing the baby dance, as we expect Finn to do. And then we have his victory animation for his default animation. Garnet also has three additional taunts, with one having a dance there. Another one has a tiny car, which has, of course, being in a tiny car. And then we have Mad Because You're Single, which was a part of the Prestige stores, like the first season. So this technically counts as Garnet's rarest item. And then again, we have her victory animation for her default animation here.
This is what I have been training for.
Gizmo is also another one of the characters that has a 4 emotes, with Gizmo having one out of a few characters having this music-themed emote with Mogwai 1000, which has Gizmo playing in the piano with a keyboard. However, when you play this in the game, you actually have the ability to mash the controls to make Gizmo play a certain music note. And a few other characters have a similar taunt as well when I get to them later. Not many characters have it though, but I do know 3 additional characters have it. But Gizmo also has the Flight of Fancy, having him playing with a Batman themed toy with the bat ring. Have an umbrella, which is the longest, I think one of the few longest animations in the game, that you never actually get to really fully see this animation play out fully with Gizmo. But it's still like a cute emo. It's just needed to be a little shorter. Then we have Gizmo just doing a little dance. And then finally we have his normal default animation for a taunt here too. So again, Gizmo did fairly well with 4 taunts in the game. Harley has 3 additional taunts, which has Q the Waterworks, which has Harley just, fake crying for people. She has a mallet pose, which has her swinging on her mallet. We have a bye-bye, which she gives a kiss before waving goodbye to people. And then finally, we have her victory animation for her default animation. Iron Giant has 2 additional taunts too, one having him teasing at people like Bugs Bunny. A Back Scratcher, which is also like Gizmo's Umbrella, one of the longer emotes, which just has Iron Giant or scratching his back. You never actually really get to see this fully play out as a result, similar to Gizmo's Umbrella, so that's the only downside to it. Otherwise, then we have his normal default animation for like his classic skin anyway for him here. So not too bad for Iron Giant. Jake has only 2 additional taunts, but one is a dance, similar to Finn, so this one was bound to happen. We also have a ballad outfit, which has him, of course, doing a little jig over there. And then we have his default victory animation being his default animation here, so we have his victory one here. Jason has 3 additional taunts, which is impressive for Jason. One's Betty Bye, which has him just sleeping on a bed, or at least an attempt of a bed. Attempting sleeping with his weight and using a body bag for a blanket. You have a paper cut, which has Jason cutting some paper and then decapitating the heads. They really make Jason like this adorable little guy when he's a zombie killer. Like they really play up the comedic factor with Jason in this game. Because then the next emo after this is having him moonwalk. Like, when do we see Jason ever doing a moonwalk? You would never expect it in any of the Friday the 13th films for him to do that. So they had fun with making Jason comedic, which I can't help but love. Then finally we have his normal his normal animation for his default. So, like I said, I'd say Jason has one of the best taunts in the game in general, that they add a bit of personality to Jason and they have a lot of fun with the character. Next up is LeBron, who has 3 additional taunts too, with For the Kids, which has him signing a basketball, which he just keeps for himself, the prick. We have a Silencer, which has him dancing for a little bit, which moves him a little bit on the ground. But we also then have him a salsa dance, which has him, of course, just doing a little dance. And then we have his default animation for his default taunt here too. Lola has only 1 additional taunt in the game, like with Beetlejuice. That she has just a loser, there with an L. But then we have her victory animation for her taunt, her normal taunt here as well. Marceline has 2 taunts with the Marcy's Axe Bass, acting the same way as Gizmo's piano one, where she can play the guitar, and depending on your button patterns, you can make her play in a bit of a session going on with Marceline afterwards. But then also we have Drop the Bass, which has her, of course, playing the guitar with the speakers. But then also we have just her normal default animation for her default taunts too here. So that's with Marceline. Shit. Yeah, Marvin next, and he also, similar to Marceline and Gizmo, has Martian Stronghold, which has Marvin playing the little horn that he would normally use to summon the instant Martians. And similarly to Marceline and Gizmo, you can play around with Marvin to make him play a different note with the blowhole. We also have Helmet Shake, which I really find to be a cute animation with Marvin here, where he's having all his different weapons. We also have a flag, which is, he's pulling out his flag here. It can kind of bug out at times where the flag will disappear at times, but it's still like a cute little animation with Marvin.
Never surrender.
Then we have his normal animation for his default taunt.
Marvin the Martian never surrenders.
Next up is Morty, who also, again, like Marvin, Marceline, and Gizmo, has Mr. Bulgeball. Mr. Bulldops, which has Morty playing the drums, little drum bass like we have with the Give Shrifty song. So again, you can spam the buttons over and over again to have Morty play a different beat. They also have Listening, which has the giant hand showing up on Morty there. Then we have the head bent over, having, of course, Morty obviously having the little dance that I think at the season 2 finale, I think. But then we have his victory animation for his default taunt here, too. So that's Morty's the taunts.
I'm immortal. I can literally do this all day.
And Nubia also has only one taunt, like with Lola and Beetlejuice, where we have an apple a day, which just has her simply eating an apple. After that, then we have her default taunt for her default one here. For some reason, I listed uncommon for some reason compared to everyone else's, but that's what it is with Nubia anyway. So that's all there is with her. Similarly, Raven only has one taunt here too, with the Birds of a Feather, having her interact with Nevermore. And then we just have her victory animation for her default taunt here too. So that's Raven's taunts anyway.
I'll give you dark.
Rain Dog has two additional taunts, but his victory animation being his default one. But as well, there is also a yawn emote, and finally a tail wag. So Rain Dog has two additional taunts too here. Rick, surprisingly, only had one additional taunt in the game, and that's, of course, getting Shrifty, having him, of course, doing the Get Shrifty song type pose here. But as well, we have his Portal Moon, which, of course, has him shoving his butt through the portal. I don't think that's how that works in terms of the show, how the portal works, but, whatever. I think, I recall this being Rick's losing animation being featured, I think. I don't know, I think there used to be a thing where this used to be Rick's victory animation in the open beta, but then the Meeseeks thing was his losing animation. But they changed it around with the full release, so this is his losing animation being played here. And still, though, it's still there for Rick.
Wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Victory is inevitable.
That's a quote.
Next up, we have Samurai Jack, who has Blindfold. What's cool about this particular taunt, is that after you apply it with Samurai Jack, for the rest of the fight, at least until he gets ring out, Samurai Jack will actually remain blindfolded for the entire fight until he gets wrung out. So that's cool, tiny little details to add with the Samurai Jack there.
You surrender to the madness.
Then we also have him just doing a Samurai Shuffle, having, of course, Samurai Jack just doing a little dance there too.
You surrender to the madness.
And then we have his victory animation for his default taunt here as well.
Rafu, give me strength.
We have also Shaggy has 4 additional taunts as well, so another rare case with the Jaw Stretcher Special, which was a part of the PlayStation Plus thing for Season 4, I believe. I think it was Season 4 or Season 3, where Shaggy, of course, has the big giant sandwich before shoving it down his mouth. But we also have the shirt rip Shaggy, which of course has him ripping his shirt off, and similar to the Samurai Jack blindfold one, this will have Shaggy remain shirtless for the fight until he gets wrung out. So, and again, this counts for all the skins with Shaggy too. Well, I'm gonna just gonna stop that before I hear Shaggy talk. Yeah, but the fight, similar to Samurai Jack. That's taunt has Shaggy be shirtless until he gets wrung out, so that's another cool feature to have with the characters. Then we have just a Kung Fu themed taunt here with Shaggy, and then we have nunchucks with him having eating his sausages, which I believe is kind of his victory animation, I believe. So that's that with Shaggy. But then we also have... Okay, well, I picked the wrong skin for this one, but then we have his normal taunt anyway, which just, has his normal animation play out here. Obviously the taunts didn't help with that, but the skin didn't help with that one, but that's at least for Shaggy's default taunt anyways. Next up is Steven, who also has 4 taunts, and again, much like with Morty, Marvin, Marceline, and Gizmo, he has the Uku Jam, which has him playing the ukulele, and again, plays different notes depending on what button combinations you have. But he also has him being starstruck, with him gasping. We have Share the Love, which has him just, of course, spreading a kiss to everybody. Have a Wipe Gem, which, of course, he wipes the crystal gem in his belly. And then finally, we get his default animation play out here for the default taunt. Stripe has also 3 additional taunts with Stench-tastic, where of course Stripe, scratching his shoulder until the stench makes him droozy. We have Excuse Me, which has Stripe eating a chicken before burping. Puppets, which has Stripe beating up a Rain Dog puppet with his own puppet. You would have thought this would have been Gizmo, but I guess Stripe really hates Rain Dog and Gizmo equally. And then we have his normal default taunts for his default taunts here. So they have this normal animation here. So that's for Stripes' one. Superman has only 2 additional taunts with push-ups being here, of course, having Superman push up with one hand or one finger. And then we have him being a hover taunt, which this taunt actually kind of helped with the whiffs initially with the jump rope, where if initially when you equip this with Superman, the game would think would not recognize that you're doing the taunt and you're not in the air, it thinks you're actually up in the air. So for that one, you can actually chase through the jump rope whiff initially, but they did patch it out where you can no longer taunt during it. So yeah, it was still cool to do it when the game initially came out.
I won't back down until everyone's safe.
Yep, but then one of his few, one of the more unique taunts with here with Superman, again, just to tell him to shut up, where he stretches his neck there. So Superman has one of the more unique, default taunts where it's not the normal animation. It is an actual unique taunt for Superman. Next up is Taz, who also has 4 taunts with a tasty tantrum emo here, where he eats the table after being frustrated. Then we have Taz being hungry, which he, of course, points about to eat someone. The She-Devil howl, which of course has Taz doing the cartoon, the woof woof, with the attractive woman thing. A tongue out, which of course has Taz just having his tongue fully out. And then we have his default animation as his default taunt as well. So that's for Taz's one anyway. The Joker also has 4 additional taunts with blah blah blah, having him play around with the chatter teeth. Playing the Fool, which of course has him sticking out his tongue like that. Ready for Showtime, which has him combing his hair before getting ready to fight. And then a little Joker jig. Then we have his victory animation for his default taunt as well, so that was the Joker.
But I'm afraid you're the punchline.
The Powerpuff Girls also has only 1 additional taunt with Color Break, which has the girls simply, coloring together.
And then I'm gonna biff, and you're gonna win.
Okay, Buttercup. Then we have their victory animation be the default taunt as well here with the girls. So that's that with the Powerpuff Girls. Tom and Jerry also have 3 additional taunts with Scaredy Cat, with of course Tom and Jerry having Tom trying to scare Jerry, only for Jerry to scare him. They have nap time, which of course has Tom and Jerry sleeping together. And I like this emote, especially when Bat Alone turned out those, as long as you use the taunts, Tom and Jerry will constantly have one eye open just to keep the other, like, keep in check if the other is going to attack them or something. Then we have Eat Her Toe, which of course has Jerry slamming a mallet towards Tom's foot. And then we have their normal default animation for their default taunt as well. So that's for Tom and Jerry. Next up is Velma, who has 3 additional taunts, with one having her simply reading a book, having her then do a little dance, which I believe is from one of the original Scooby-Doo, like Scooby-Doo Where Are You episodes. Then we have a crime stink investigation, which has her smelling one for chemicals. And then we have her victory animation be her default taunt as well. So that's for Velma. And then finally Wonder Woman. A character who's been out from the beginning of the game. She never got an additional taunt. She only has this one taunt, which has her lifting a weight. And then after that, we have her victory animation be her normal taunt. So that's all the taunts for all the characters in MultiVersus. Again, it definitely feels like some are favored more than others in terms of taunts, but for the most part, a lot of the taunts in here either like do a good job or obviously being a good taunt, but also kind of fit with the character and their franchise as a result. So that's just for the taunts. As for everything else, oh boy, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the account cosmetics over on the top left over there. Now we go into the account cosmetics. With the main one here, for now, we go into banners. Simply put, the banners are just one unique way to just show off, a little personality related to the franchise and the person, how they feel like being a little show off and that. But how this will work out is like similar. We have our categories where we have our exclusives, legendaries, epic, rare, and uncommons. With, again, similar to the ranked stuff with the costumes, there was ranked themed banners throughout every season of MultiVersus, but of course I never went that far, so I don't have any of those banners here in the game, but I still have a lot of banners. With the first one here being the Deluxe Founder, which I should just go on here for that these 3 banners were true in the open beta when the Founder Pack editions were available, but of course the standard version giving you just a founder, because this little thing with toasts going up in the air. Deluxe Founder, which is having purple themed, but also a shiny toast up above someone's head. And then finally, a Premium Founder, which has the toast being almighty, as well you got some smoke in the back. There's also the Full Total Champion, which I'm not entirely sure how this worked, because some people have a different variant on this, but it just has the Player First Games logo being animated. As well, there was an EVO 2022, when EVO was coming around, there was a code you could have put in the game, which gives you this little emote with EVO in the background with a symbol, and the character silhouettes in the back. So that's all there was there. But now let's go into the other banners you could have gone, like Warriors Ready, having Samurai Jack, getting ready to fight. All Hail the Candy Kingdom, which has Princess Bubblegum. Then you can get this churn out the Prestige store. The Alpha Tester, which of course this happened mainly in the closed alpha period, where you can just get this like little blue flashy background. So this was only for closed alpha players, which I was a part of, so I got this for free. The Boot of Armor, having the Black Knight from Scooby-Doo in the background. Bulletproof, having Superman, with his laser eyes, as well as being shot at, but of course being a bulletproof. The Class in Session, which has the Vinsect Venza versions of like Taz, Velma, and the Joker together. Then we have the Hypergalactic Puppets, which has, the Hypergalactic Puppet versions of Gizmo, Harley, Wonder Woman, and Stripe together. Heart was having the outro of the Powerpuff Girls featured here. Hack and Smash, which has the Cyberpunk themed Harley outfit within a cyberpunk themed city of MultiVersus. Frenemies of the deep, having Tom and Jerry swimming underwater. Family reunion, having Raven going up towards the Tricon possessed Superman. Downloading TNX.exe, of course having the Tom and Jerry version of the skin there instead of Harley, as well as the Icon recording in, having the Rick and Morty themed outfits there. Ice King, having Ice King float in the air with all his penguins around him. I don't know, vampire stuff, having Marceline in her monstrous vampire form in the background. In the break room, just having these, same thing as the other one, with this time having just the Joker and Wonder Woman instead of Velma and Taz. Like Sandwich Power, having Shaggy just having a sandwich. Long Live the Bat, just a thing that came out during Batman's 85th anniversary there. The Killing Juice, having the Joker having some poison while Harley is surfing in the background. Slicing In, having incorrectly labeled under DC, but it has the Arya Stark cyberpunk outfit here. Raven's Throne, of course having Raven here, sitting in a very gross looking throne. Offerings of the Dead, which has, of course, from the Day of the Dead themed event for Halloween back in 2024. Higher on the Prowl, which I say is probably a Game of Thrones related banner. I'm not 100% certain on it. Lurking Jason, of course, having Jason showing up with his machete there from the Friday the 13th. The Solar-Powered Man Descents, of course, having the Superman cyberpunk themed outfit here. To Conquer the Stars, having Marvin flying by with his spaceship there. This was like really part of the battle pass for the season, for season 5. Trick or Treat, having the banner for the Halloween event, having Banana Guard, Shaggy, Bugs, Tom and Jerry trick-or-treating near Jason's house. Then on Trigon Starter, having a more comic book accurate version of Raven showing up. Volleyball Journey, which has Velma and Wonder Woman in a Ghibli type of form, playing volleyball, obviously. Waiting for the Big Man, just having Rain Dog simply sleeping for Santa. So that's all the legendary banners anyway. But now we're going to the epics, which has Cherry Blossom, just simply having the Cherry Blossom tree. Bubble Pop, just being an animated thing with bubbles popping. Batman 85th, which just is a simple banner of Batman's 85th anniversary. Acid was being based on Rick and Morty with the Fall of Acid. A very normal pumpkin patch, which it says play first games, but I want to say this is Scooby-Doo related. Screensaver, of course, being based on the old Windows themed inactive screen with the the Windows movie icon, the Windows icon bouncing around the place with different colors depending on where it bounces, with now this time being the MultiVersus icon instead. Comfy Cozy Cave being based on Marceline's house in Adventure Time. Counting Sheep, counting sheep. Cupid's Folly, having a Cupid version of Rain Dog. Don't Call Me Doll, simply just having a Lola Bunny themed banner there. The Day of the Dead of 2024, simply put there. From the Ashes, being based on Game of Thrones. The Iron Giant, was having the Iron Giant in the night, sky and that. Whole Sweet Hole, having Bugs Bunny's, little hideout hole. The Heart of Sensif, I don't know how to pronounce it. Just having the Rain Dog, or a little heart thing on top of his antennas. Then we have the Ha Ha Ha, which of course is the Joker laugh. They are beautifully animated. Then we have Foolish Delights, a Frozen Planet, the Iron Giant blueprint, just getting a blueprint of course, the Iron Giant. Jinkies Go Ghost, having a more Scooby-Doo themed haunted house with some spirits. A Joker themed card there. Leader of the Pack, of course, having Harley Quinn with the hyenas. Longevity, something MultiVersus doesn't have much of. This was for the Chinese New Year back in the open beta. Magical, just being a magical themed banner. The perfect plan, having the coyote, doing an acne thing with an anvil, waiting for the wool runner. One more time, just having, of course, Beetlejuice's name, sign. Now look here, having Farquhar Leghorn, just doing this thing of, look here, boy. Mountain Stars, just being off DC. The Meow Tree, having cats showing up in a tree. Marvin's wardrobe, just simply showing off Marvin's outfit. Pizza slicing, of course, being Scooby-Doo themed, just with a bunch of pizzas. Popping off with a bunch of balloons there. Pleasantly shocked, having Tom and Jerry near a present while, like small box explosion happens behind them. Pumpkin party, just having a bunch of pumpkins, just laughing. Ruben's greetings, which of course has Ruben from Rick and Morty now up in space. Sea, just being from the sea. Val and Neon Vortex having, based on the Valentine themed event of MultiVersus. Trophy Falls just being a waterfall. The Joker's Funhouse having another Joker themed banner to some of his, funhouses. Sweet Tunes Dude having Jake just listening to some tunes. The Sun, of course, having the Screaming Sun as well as a part of the banner from Rick and Morty. Smoke, just a lot of smoke. The Warner Brothers Tower, which is, by looks of things, obviously Christmas themed. What's Opera Doc, of course, having Bugs Bunny in his What's Opera Doc outfit, team thing with the Elmer Fudd. And then we have Error MultiVersus, just having a glitch themed banner there. So that's all the epics. Then we have all the rare costume, rare banners, which has Chestnuts Not Included, having a Christmas themed banner with the MultiVersus logo on the mat. A chaotic kind of love, having the comic book accurate versions of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy together. A Universe of Potential, having the Steven Universe themed banner with the blue, yellow, diamond giant hand thing they have. The Bun Power, which of course has another Lola Bunny themed banner there. Blavos, just having a man in between two parts of land. Blizzard Baddies, which has the themed off the Christmas event of last year with the Jason and Stripe in the background. Beach Keen, having of course Steven and Garnet at the beach. Adventure Rates, being themed off the caves with Adventure Time with Princess Bubblegum nearby. Then we have Ace Chemical, of course being based off of DC with the Joker and Harley's origin stories. Then we have Ceiling Slammer, which of course has Tom being slammed up to the ceiling. It's personally one of my favorite banners, really. Then we have Cheesy Temptations, having another Tom and Jerry team, one with a cheese near the Jerry's mouse hole. Conquest for Power, which has Black Adam. I can't tell who it is. I think that's Shazam, I think. I'm not entirely sure. He's giving a good neck brace there. Then we have Extra Toasty, just having a little toasty up in the air. They have Festive versus Cheer, just having a Christmas tree. Full Court, of course, having the Toon Squad logo near a basketball place. We have the House of Lannister banner, which is just a simple Game of Thrones thing of the different factions in the series. And having the Halls of Knowledge just being in Olympus, I think. The Hollow Warning was just being another Halloween themed banner. Gotham Knight having was Gotham City with a Batman logo in the sky. Going Solo, just a comic book, accurate version of Harley there. Full Moon Surprise, just being the full moon. The House of Stark banner, again, simple, straight to the point. As then we have the House of Trigon banner too from Game of Thrones. I Am the Knight, having Batman in the animated series intro, as well as I Am Vengeance being at the end of the intro. The Ice Kingdom from, of course, Adventure Time. It Might Be Haunted, having a Scooby-Doo Scooptober themed banner with bats flying from the castle. Merry Melodies, of course, being the iconic Looney Tunes opening. Lunar Sea Spar being from, of course, Steven Universe. Love Storm having a bunch of hearts. The Legion of Alistair having, of course, the Trigon possessed versions of Black Adam, Joker, and Nubia together. Lady Radicorn's Trail, of course, having her trail in the back near some of Ice King's ice pillars. Just a pit stop, having the Mystery Machine stop off for a little bit. Mistakes were made, which has the whole town being burnt, which kind of helps, some characters fit well with this banner, like Tom and Jerry. Mogwai Crit, of course, having a Christmas quilt themed outfit banner with the gizmo and stripe in the background. Nap Time for Lion, of course, having the pink lion, just having a little nap near the beach. Old School Clowning, of course, having another comic book accurate version of Harley Quinn, because we haven't had enough of those. Player First Games is Snow Guy, having, of course, the Player First Games logo with a snowman. Scooby Dooby Doo, just having a bunch of Scooby emblems in the background. We also have the Hypergalactic Universe, which just has a Player First Games thing, being based on the Hypergalactic puppet skins. The Fortress of Solitude, of course, being from Superman's birthplace, I think. At least he's where he gets his powers and stuff. Daily Planet, of course, being based on Superman. Snowflakes, having the MultiVersus logo and a bunch of snowflakes. Smooches for Grumpy, having Harley kiss Batman upside down. Slushy Plushie having a Rain Dog team plush in the middle of the snow. The Power of Love just having a heart icon that says Steven Universe, but it's clearly based on the Valentine's themed stuff. Tools of Trade having having, I guess, a Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck thing going on here with someone thinking of traps towards them, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but it's something related to a Looney Tunes anyway. Then we have Rabbit Season, of course, having Bugs Bunny burrowing down the ground. The Wonders of Telvelixiga, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm not a DC guy. It's just another DC related thing. Work in Progress, just having a maintenance themed manner. And then finally, at least for here, we have another Scooby-Doo one with a ghost wailing around. And then finally, we have Centaur's Last Hope with a Rain Dog themed banner. And that's all the wares. Then we go into the uncommons, which goes to a City of Crime, which has the beginning of the Batman animated series opening with the size got all the blimps all over the place. Danger High Voltage, just being a high voltage themed banner. Encore having the end of a stage show. Hort having, of course, Finn and Jake's house. Ghosts within their hills, just having someone creepily going through a crack in the woods, a crack through the plank of woods. A Mask Island, of course, having based on Steven Universe. Like Bungorgeous, or Bongus, or whatever, I don't know how to say it. Like Bocacious, just having a 7 and 80s themed banner. Anyway, it's Harley Quinn time. Of course, just saying Harley's name over and over again. House of Stark, the House Stark logo in the black background. He seems friendly, having a Scooby-Doo themed banner here too. Grudge Match having another 80s themed thing with, I think it's Rick and Morty and Rain Dog on it. I'm not entirely sure. Then we have a Mystery Inc. themed banner. Nighttime in Ooh, of course, just having it Ooh and Nighttime. Nightlight, just a bunch of Nightlight stuff. Once a Crystal Gem, having the symbols for Garnet, Steven, Amethyst, and Pearl together. Road to Arkham, of course, having the Arkham Asylum. Shark Teeth, just having a Jaws thing going on here with a shark. Wonder Woman having her icons in the background. Tadalia's Sunset, same thing as before. Then we have the Man of Steel, same thing with Superman's logo. And then have the Cape Crusader with Batman's logo. And then finally, the Strength of Centaur having Rain Dog's jet. So that's all the badges, at least all the banners. So there's enough customization here, with a lot of them basing off a lot of material from across the franchises and Warner Brothers here. I think the Matrix might be the only one, I think, that doesn't actually have anything related in the background for a banner. Because at least Friday the 13th was still able to get something as well as Beetlejuice, the Powerpuff Girls, and others, but nothing with the Matrix. No Agent Smith themed ones, so that's the only disappointing one. But everyone else got at least enough representation through their banners here. Next up is the icons, the powerful icons. This one might take a while because they definitely filled out a lot of these with icons over the years. But of course, the first one you normally get is the Player First, having the Player First Games logo here. But then we also got its Evo version here that actually kept the Evo name on it. But as well, we have the Power in Waiting, which I guess is another thing I think certain players got for coming back after the open beta. But then we go into the Legendaries, which has a complex dynamic between the Joker, Alola having Blossom, doing the thing where they were being more girly towards the Rowdy Bell Boys to defeat them. Then we have the All Eyes on Me, having Raven in her more corrupted version of herself. We have Bad Dad having the Tricon possessed Superman. Baking Pancakes, of course, being from Jake with the Adventure Time. And All for Me having Tom and Jerry in their Musketeers outfit. An Easy A having Wonder Woman in her Coach Diane outfit for the Fensic Venza event. Always Prepared having a Batman themed icon. Alpha Taz, which was also given out as a part of the closed alpha period here when Taz was included a part of the roster, so that's what that one is. Bashful Bubbles, same thing as before with Blossom's one. Battle for Gotham, another Batman themed icon. Beware the solar powered man, of course having Superman's solar powered outfit. Bottom of the deck having the Joker, obviously. Buff Nanner, having Banana Guard all buffed up. But it has 3 bathrooms with the Scooby-Doo Haunted Mansion. Creeping Cat, which of course has Tom, goes doing the creepy laugh to going into the door from the Lion short. Creeping Around, which has the Creeper. Clues, of course, just having Velma looking at some clues. Clue finding Fashionista, of course, themed off Daphne's Ascot as well. Control having Rain Dog's Day of the Dead themed outfit as well. By Apollo, Sunshine having a cheaply version of Wonder Woman for summer. Data Corrupted having a fairly pissed off looking Agent Smith. Diane Undead with her Black Lantern version of the character. Down in the Dumps having Jerry being pretty upset just before he found out he was sick, in that one where he made Tom think he was sick. El Gustin having the Joker themed version of the Day of the Dead thing as well. Evil Morty, just of course having Evil Morty. Extra Thick, which of course is based on one of the more iconic Aku lines from the series with the extra thick. They had to put the K in there, they couldn't put a second C in there. Oh. Then we have the Game of Thrones Astral Blade, of course being based on the iconic Game of Thrones logo, the opening. Fuss Fight, which has Stripe in his Polar Vortex look. Frenemies, of course having the normal Tom and Jerry logo there. Flying Black Adam, of course, being based off the 2022 Black Adam movie with the meme of The Rock going down, this time being recreated by the in-game model of Black Adam. It's kind of funny. MultiVersus news, of course, having Rain Dog sleeping on the couch. Fantastic, just having a basic one with Marceline. Hack and Smashin', of course, having the Cyberpunk Harley Quinn outfit there. Hanging out with Larry, of course, having Beetlejuice just hanging out with Larry. Headmaster Knight, which of course has Batman's Mystic Fencer logo. Hero, having the Iron Giant. Hiya Finn, just having Finn's very close up. Hypergalactic Puppet Gizmo, simple as is. Jason Goes, just having a close up of Jason's face. In their sights, having Agent Smith with the clone versions of himself. Icon Director having Rick, Cyberpunk theme outfit. And we have the simple here, we have the Hypergalactic Puppet Wonder Woman, Stripe, and Harley banner icons here. Kingdom's Finest with Banana Guard's close-up face. A little candy as a treat having a close-up of Tom in his Batman outfit. Lola, love ya, with a close-up of Lola Bunny. Love Bun having her doing the finger symbol to come closer to her. Madness of a Coup, just of course having a close-up of Cou's face. Mars Nana having Banana Guard dressed up as Marvin. Val Power and Beauty having Velma's Fistic Venza themed outfit with her little outfit there. Party Guard, of course being based on Adventure Time. Nice shot pudding with Harley Quinn smoking smoke, blowing smoke out of the gun. New Fiends having Jason about to murder Velma, my favorite icon to be honest. Like, to imagine this actually is official. Then we have the Ma, which has the Buttercup kissing. I don't actually know which the Rowdy About Boys this is. I'm sure someone can tell me on the comments, but it has, of course, the thing where they kiss the Rowdy About Boys to defeat them. So there's that. Mogwai Stripe, of course, having Stripe during the Mogwai phase. Ready to Fight, having Superman about to, of course, move from the Clark Kent persona to Superman. Righteous Anger, of course, having Superman be pissed off. Rogue Agent having Morty in his Cyberpunk theme outfit. Scorned having the Trigon possessed version of Nubia. Shaggy Universe having Shaggy in his Halloween outfit. She'll Still Kick Your Butt, of course having Buttercup's version of that icon with Bubbles and Blossom. Just a simple profile icon of Stripe. Stark slicing in, focusing on Arya's Cyberpunk theme outfit. So it began another Batman team banner because like with the banners with Harley Quinn, like there wasn't enough of them. Stork and Tom and Jerry, of course, having them in their summer outfit. Then we have Smooch, which has Bubbles doing her Rowdy About Boy equivalent, and then we have one for Blossom with Schnack. Then we have a Summer Jam Jinkies, which has Velma in her Ghibli summer outfit. Summer Salish Punch just puts on a drink. System Enforcer having a Agent Smith themed one here. The Darkness Grows focusing on the Black Lantern Superman. The Looney King having Bugs Bunny in the crown. The Ocean is Scary, of course focusing on the thin faces before with the stickers. The Utility Offering having the cookies from the Christmas banner familiar. Windling Archetypes, just having a small spider basically. The Trogon Terror focusing on the winter outfit for Jason in the Christmas event. Football Cool Joker, just having him in his Killing Joke outfit again. Shinji Protocol activated, having Tom and Jerry in their Cyberpunk theme outfit. The Super Rabbit having Bugs in his Superman outfit from the Halloween event. Yooka Taz having him dressed up as Santa while eating a Bugs Bunny gingerbread cookie. And then finally, for the last and legendary, we have Soinks, which has Shaggy powering up with a sandwich. Then we go into the Epics, which has a job for, of course, with Superman, showing his symbol after getting, dressing out of Clark Kent. Adventure Time, just simply having a banner with Finn. Amazonian with the Wonder Woman's logo. Aqua Buddies, just having Aquaman hanging out with a pufferfish. Cheesy Love, having cheese-shaped hearts with Jerry. Crepe Crusader, another Batman-themed icon. Kitten T Loyalty, having a Samurai Jack-themed bat icon there. BAF, of course, having I'm currently blanking on the name, but having Marceline's little teddy friend. I'm probably blanking on the name at the moment. Batmobile Lost the Wheel, of course, having a Joker card and a Batman Christmas present. Atlantis Answers, having Aquaman, of course, doing his powers. Down the Hatch, Tazvor, just having the MultiVersus logo with the Day of the Dead themed aesthetic. Eyes of a Warrior, having the Samurai Jack themed logo, beginning opening. Greater Claws, having the female gremlin from the second film doing a... Again, I'm blanking on the name at the moment, but it's one of the Christmas albums from one of the singers. He left his family behind, focusing on the Cookie Cat with Steven. I Now Pronounce You Garnet, having her in her wedding dress. L'Amour, of course, having L'Amour with Raven. Legacy, having a basketball with LeBron James. Jam the Knife Spear, of course, focusing on Marceline's guitar. It wasn't me, it was the crown, focusing on the crown from the Ice King. In her sights, just a simple garnet-themed icon. I'm Pickle Rick, of course, focusing on Pickle Rick, for Rick in Rick and Morty. Lightsaber, having a Wonder Woman Mystic Fencer thing, or the summer outfit, when the summer theme outfit she has, where she had a floaty, a lightsaber in her thing. A little toasty, just having a little toasty and a Christmas, little toasty around with of course, a Christmas card. Little toasty, of course, having a little toasty with a Christmas scarf on. Look here, son, of course, having Farquhar and Leghorn showing up. The Man of Tomorrow having a Superman themed icon. The Mystery Machine, of course, focusing on the Mystery Machine. Null following, of course, with the Iron Giant. Scooby Tag, which of course focus on Scooby's tag. Santa's Fuzzy Helper, focusing on Gizmo and his Christmas outfit. Sam Worman, of course, focusing on the Sandworms from Beetlejuice. Pure Evil, focusing on Gunter from Adventure Time. Princess Diane, of course, Wonder Woman's logo. Pixel Finn, of course, focusing on Finn from Adventure Time. Shaggy, powering up, of course. Storm in the Sea, Stallone, of course, focusing on Aquaman's seahorses. Gizmo, I have to say Beemo in the Christmas spreader, I'm not saying that name. Taz Transform, of course, focusing on Taz transforming in his Mystic Fencer outfit. That Laugh Again, focusing on a more comic book accurate version of the Joker. But then also we got the Clown Prince of Crime with him in the shadows. Then with Toxic Morty, who was being from the toxic versions of themselves. Toasty with the Mosty, of course having the Toasty in the Valentine's team outfit. Toast Me Heart, there. They Were Mine, being Adventure Time team stuff. That Rabbit, of course focusing on Bugs Bunny. And then we also have The Martian, focusing on Marvin the Martian there. You Are What You Eat, having of course the iconic meme of Jerry eating the cheese fully. Val Neon Surge, just having a Valentine neon icon. Waves of the Deep, of course having Aquaman's logo, so that's the end of the epic icons. So we go to everything nice, focusing on the Powerpuff Girls with of course sugar, spice, and everything nice. 20-minute adventure, of course focusing on Rick and Morty. Art of Fluff having Rain Dog as a deck of cards. Food Time, of course having Taz about to eat. Then we just go straight here with the Buttercup, Blossom, Bubbles, and Blossom, though for some reason these gave it from the 2016 version of the Powerpuff Girls than the 1998 version of the Girls. It's still something with the Girls anyway. Black Adam, we're simply focusing on Black Adam. Baller by Legacy, having Marvin give out a basketball. Game of Thrones, just of course based on the Game of Thrones, throne. Having Ghost, of course, from Scooby-Doo. Gingerbread Toast, just of course being involved with a gingerbread man. Gizmo, just with a 3D pair of glasses on, as well as just Gizmo there. Guardian having Wayne Dog in a Chinese dragon outfit. Kings of Shadows having Batman now in the deck of cards. Just a Jake icon there. An Ice King icon there. Hope, focusing on Superman again. Heart of Al Neon. Harley, just having a simple icon of Harley. Lady Unicorn. Lola Bunny style, having her logo. Look Out Below, having an acne safe falling from the sky. The Chinese New Year icon from like the open beta. Of course, just a simple picture of Morty. A MultiVersus heart. Peppermint Butler, of course, from Adventure Time. Space Jam, just of course having the Space Jam logo. Hytomia, as I said, yeah, it was a Game of Thrones themed wolf. Num Num, having a shark. The MultiVersus Mystic Venza School team icon here, as well as a MultiVersus Snowflake icon. Planet Claimed, with Marvin having a flag. Pumpkin Patch, of course, focusing on pumpkins. Queen of Calamity, having, of course, Harley Quinn in the deck of cards, just having a simple Rain Dog pit icon. Same here with Rick, and then we have, of course, another Rick one. Having a Taz one here, having Steven and the future design. A Starlight, of course, being from Steven Universe 2. The Space Nuke, of course, from Scooby-Doo. Stack Up Champions, having, of course, a box of Scooby Snacks. Shield of a Warrior with Wonder Woman. The Fluffiest Cupid, again, having Rain Dog in the Cupid look. The Harlequin of Hate, having the Joker in a Chester outfit. The Last Laugh, who was focusing on the Joker. The Powerpuff Hotline, of course, being based on the phone. The Centurions, don't know what this is. The Chinese New Year version of the Toasty character. Year of the Rabbit, of course, being for the Chinese New Year. Another MultiVersus themed Valentine icon. Wild Baby, having, of course, the Joker in a deck of cards. We Are the Crystal Gems with Steven's t-shirt. Watch Your Head Dog, another Acne Annabelle themed one. Warner Brothers, of course, being the Warner Brothers Tower. You Stay, another Iron Giant one. Bat Emblem, of course, based on Batman. Speaking of another Batman one. Beach Day with the MultiVersus logo and the beach. Boo, another Scooby-Doo themed icon. Garnet Star. There's a Ruby and Sapphire Forever for the Steven Universe. A Pink Diamond Gem, of course, from Steven Universe. The News Wheel Star having, of course, the Iron Giant logo. Jack of Carrot Stock, who was having the Bugs Bunny deck of cards. Hugh of a Hawkwell, another Iron Giant logo icon. GG Heart. Rain Dog Heart. Roundabout having Taz, who was doing his tornado. The Iron Throne, and then finally, just a simple picture of Arya. So that is the banner. That's at least the icons. There's a lot of them here. And of course, my ones have always been the Tom and Jerry themed icons. I have switched it once in a while with of course, the Aku with the extra thick icon once in a while, but mainly I have stuck to usually the Tom and Jerry one with the close-up of Tom here in his Batman outfit, being the one I really use a lot. So that's all the icons anyway. Now we get into the ring outs, which of course is one way to, look visually appealing when you ring out somebody. So we're given two default ring outs here, but then also we have one that also came from the premium thing with the founder packs called the Player First Games MultiVersus, having the Player First Games logo showing up, splashing on the ground, and showing a bunch of different characters together, like with Harley, Garnet, Batman, Arya, Rain Dog, Tom and Jerry, and Jake. So there's that. But there's also the Player First Games team, which came from the deluxe version of the founder pack editions. So that's the only real exclusive ring outs we have. Alright, then we have the Agent of Rage, having Agent Smith, of course, being angry there. Aku, who's showing Aku, showing up, just blasting some fire out of his mouth. Gone in the Slash, of course, having Samurai Jack, slicing up a beetle drone. Get the Rift, or whatever you have to pronounce it, just another dragon from Game of Thrones. Get a Clue, just having Velma showing up. Comic Book Day 2024, of course, having the comic book version showing up of the Player First Games character. Blue Diamond, just showing Blue Diamond going up, just blasting stuff from the sky. Bitey Boy, just having a giant shark show up. Joker cards, is of course Joker's cards blasting up in the air. The Conduct Closeout, which of course has Black Adam flashing by. King Shark, having just of course King Shark jumping up to bite some fish. Baby Alone, having Lapis showing up in a water-themed crystal thing there. Marceline, the Vampire Queen, of course having Marceline in the bat form of herself. Old Man Jenkins, of course having Old Man Jenkins being revealed in the Scooby-Doo mask. The 85th anniversary, of course having another Batman-themed 85th anniversary thing going on there. Split the guard, having two banana guards together until they bunk their heads. The Smile with having the Joker team makeup showing up there. Shazam, of course having the Shazam lightning bolt appearing. The Sednick capture, having one of the Matrix robots going through something there. I don't know much about the Matrix, so I don't know the context. I think there was, someone in the Matrix in there. That's the main thing. Rainicorns and Rainbows, having Lady Rainicorn showing up with a bunch of her and Jake's children showing up. Treasure Rabbit, having Bugs Bunny showing up in a treasure case full of carrots, I know you said rabbits. The Trigon and Neptune, of course, having Aquaman's Trident showing up there. Truck or Treat, having Tweety showing up with his Monster High version of himself before returning back to normal. The Bat Signal, just with typical Bat Signal there. Bing Bang Bong, just having Bugs Bunny and Taz in a cartoony tornado fight. A Black Adam Bolt, simple. The Decolumn, of course, having the Matrix coding showing up with Agent Smith's glasses going up. Dark Matter, of course, just having Dark Matter blowing up. Comic 66, of course, being based on the 60s incarnation of Batman, with all the punches and sound effects. Cannonball, having based on the Iron Giant, of course, when the Iron Giant jumps into the pool. Boom Pot Roasted, with the Taz trying to eat a dynamite. Blade of Grass, having Finn with his blade of grass. Boy Batwing was having the Batwing showing up. Divine Dover having, I guess, the Wonder Woman symbol showing up, which is having a bird flying up. I'm not entirely sure. Extreme Electricity, of course, having Electricity Blast. A fireworks show, of course, having fireworks blowing off. Garn Let's Go, having Garnet's hands blasting up. Gossamer, of course, having Gossamer from the Looney Tunes appearing. Laughing Fish Flood, having the Joker smiling fishes flying by. Jungle Jam, just being a jungle team thing. A House of Stark flag symbol there. Holy Night Sword, having Finn's sword flying up in the air. Here Comes a Thought with a Steven Universe themed banner there, ring out. Green Lantern finish, having the Green Lantern logo showing up before the Green Lantern powers blasting off there. A Lotus Blossom, having a Chinese New Year thing there, as well as the UR Rabbit, showing up in another Chinese New Year. The Morty's Mind Blowers, of course, having Morty with the Mind Blower device going off. Obsidian, I do not know the context of which. I think this is probably DC related, probably, but it's just a giant guy with a sword. Oracle reading, of course, probably another Teen Titans Raven thing showing up. Paint buckets, just simply having a paint buckets showing up there. Sliced cheese with Jerry, once again doing the Mouseketeers thing of slicing up cheese. Slashed with Jason now doing the slashing instead of Jerry. Shield and Bubbles focusing on Steven's shield and the bubbles around him. Scooby Snacks, having Scooby Snacks popping up, which funny enough has the Be Cool Scooby-Doo design on the box for some reason. I don't know why they chose that one instead of regular Scooby, but it's one of the few times you get to hear Scooby-Doo in the actual game, so take that for what it's worth. They have Say Your Prayers Vomit, of course having Yosemite Sam showing up, blasting up the air. Walk the Night of Spear, having, of course, Marceline grabbing her guitar. Snowman Sliding, of course having a snowman sliding down. Space Cook, of course having Space Cook from Scooby-Doo showing up. Spike's Bite, of course having Spike from Tom and Jerry showing up. Staff of Understanding, having another, I want to say it's Nubia's spear, I think. Then we also have the Pink Lion showing up again with Steven Universe. Sugar, Spice, Everything Nice with the cool effect of each of the girls being shown there. Wildfire, of course being a Game of Thrones thing of ships being blown up. Well Armed, being a Aquaman themed banner there with the tentacle with an octopus. Two-Face coin flip, just of course being based on the coin that Two-Faces use. Dragon of Atlantis, another Aquaman themed ring animation. Touch of Salt, again, much like with the salt sticker, this is another thing that a lot of people use because salty, salty, salty. The sunscreen, of course, focusing on Rick and Morty. The Synthos, of course, being Raven themed, and that's all the epics. Then we go into the Wares, which I think goes to the Ghost Train, which I want to say it's based on that one character from the Vindicators on Rick and Morty who has like Ghost Train abilities. A Boom Tube, which I guess is DC related somehow. Then we have Count Scooby, with of course Scooby-Doo showing up with the Count outfit for Scooby-Doo Scooptober. Then we have just a volcano blowing up there. Then we have a fireworks going off saying OKO there. Then we have a hypergalactic energy beam. Then we have the other like stuff with the House of Trigon blasting off there. And then we have the Lannister version for the Game of Thrones. We have Happy Birthday Tweety, where I guess I think it was in 2022. It was 80 years since Tweety was introduced, so they add a little emote for him in the game. Okay, we got Gem Bubbles, of course being based on Steven Universe. Then we got the Fire Princess's Burning Love with her blasting a heart symbol up in the air. Icebreaker, just simply being an ice-themed ring animation. In Vain, which I want to say is Adventure Time related, but I'm not entirely sure. Jelly Bean, which of course has, obviously, well, jellies, beans being blasted off. The Lasso of Fruit, of course, was on Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth. Lava Breath. Love Explosion, just having a bunch of hearts, rainbows going off. The Set Spike, having a more Olympic themed ring animation there. Then we have Ride the Wave, which has a pineapple, riding the wave. A Pillow of Ice, another ice-themed ring animation. Omega Beam. Mushroom Explosion. Marceline's song, which was originally Marceline's only real inclusion of MultiVersus until she was added into the game later, where she just sings a song. Smoke Bomb was focusing on Batman's smoke bombs going off. Smoothing Energy. A Sparkler themed ring out. Spiritual Awakening. A Star Exploding. Christmas Lights with String Lights. Then we have a Supernova. A System Crash thing with the MultiVersus logo showing up. That's all, folks. Of course, showing Porky Pig and his iconic That's All, folks thing. And then this is the Breakaway, another Olympics themed ring animation. And finally, a Toxic Explosion. After that, then we go into the uncommon, which goes Flame Boil, just having a full gun barrel going off. Techno Ray, just having a little digital effect going on there. Sludge Slime, Slam, which has focused on a sludge team monster from Scooby-Doo. Winning another Olympics-themed ring animation. Rising stars popping off with bubbles popping. The glitch. And then finally, All Ye Grand Flag, an American themed flag. So that's all the ring outs in MultiVersus. I still think the ring outs were a cool idea to have. I know MultiVersus is not the only game that has this when it comes to platform fighters or fighting games in general, but I still think MultiVersus had a lot of fun ideas to use, basing it off all the different franchises and characters' certain traits. Now we go into voice packs or announcer packs. This is usually for like the game, like honestly when you log into the game when the game's about to start. Generally, it's obviously just the characters saying certain things depending on the match. We get our normal default, just regular guys speaking here, but we do have a bunch of other taunts here. Like we have one for Farquhar and Lacorn. Despite the fact he's not in the game, he gets to have a whole entire announcer pack with Eric Bolsa, of course, once again doing the voice of the character. This one's only in the Prestige store, which is one of the more expensive items to get. But at least gives Farquhar and Lacorn a little more to speak in the game.
What a brave choice.
But then we have the Joker team that announcer pack, of course, focusing on Mark Hamill, which I'd say more likely that's why this is a legendary instead of like everyone else. It's because Mark Hamill's expensive. So yeah, the Joker gets an announcer pack for the legendaries.
Only 1 minute left.
Then we get the Epics, which focus on Agent Smith's announcer pack. Then we get BMO, who also gets an announcer pack as well.
Oh, jeez. Maybe next time.
We have one from Ward Morty there.
The other guys won that one. Not you. Sorry.
Then we have Rick. If I'm saying quiet in case you can hear the voice lines there, anyways.
Only a minute of violence left.
Then we have the Batman Who Laughs outfit for the Joker getting his own announcer pack too.
That's point blue.
Then we got the Rowdy Bout Boys also getting their announcer pack as well.
Starting in 30 seconds.
We have Banana Guard, which I think was given out for free as a part of the game initial launch as well, so you were bound to get this one for free as well.
30 seconds to go.
Then we have one, of course, with the Beetlejuice as well. We have one for Lady Rainicorn, which is, of course, like in the character, she speaks Korean.
There's only 30 seconds left.
We have one for the Powerpuff Girls, which, of course, I should say with the Rowdy Bout Boys, it switches between the three characters when it comes to their voice lines. Like you can hear Blossom one moment, you can hear Bubbles the next, you can hear Buttercup the next, like that.
I am sorry. You are defeated.
They have one for Samurai Jack there.
Guess it's time to fight.
Have another one there for Raven.
Let the battle commence!
Then we have one there for Nubia.
Match point to blue.
Then we have, of course, one from Mojo Jojo, which his lines were never fixed. Like, at times he'll say the victory thing when the match is about to begin. When the round ends, he'll say the character unlock thing instead. I don't get why he was never fixed with his announcer pack at all.
Oh man, out of time!
And then, of course, we have one from Marcelly.
Match point for blue.
Then we have all the uncommons, which goes for the Aquaman, which was given as a part of the Battle Pass.
Let's begin.
And, of course, one there for Arya.
Sorry, you lose.
Of course, one for Batman.
60 seconds left.
Have, then we have one there for Black Adam.
Red gets that one.
Of course, there one for Bugs Bunny.
Oh man, who are you gonna choose?
They have one there for Finn.
Ooh, out of time.
Then, of course, there one for Lola.
30 seconds to go.
Then we have there one for LeBron James.
Match starts in 1 minute, dude.
Of course, there one for Jake. Of course, there's one for Iron Giant.
1 more minute till we start.
Of course, there one for Harley.
Blue point.
One, of course, there for Garnet.
You were defeated.
One there for Marvin.
A lot of fighters to choose from, man.
Of course, one for Shaggy.
Choose your character.
Of course, there one for Steven.
Only 1 minute left, everyone.
One there for Superman.
10 seconds.
one there for Taz,
Ooh, pick your team.
one there for Vilma,
Hurry, only 10 seconds left.
and one finally for Wonder Woman. So you quickly notice that there's still some characters who didn't get an announcer pack at all, mainly because some characters obviously don't speak. Like Tom and Jerry and Jason obviously didn't get any because they don't talk. And Gizmo and Stripe, I'd say, is because their broken English wouldn't fit well with an announcer pack. I don't know about that, but those are the only 4 characters in the game that didn't get an announcer pack at all out of everyone in the roster. But I still think picking some characters who aren't even in the game or play a more minor role, like skins, or like say with Mojo Jojo being a hazard in the stage, is a cool idea to have. It gives the game a little bit more personality as a result there too. Finally, we're here with the badges. Badges are just, obviously ways to show off how well you do the game and how well you do with every character and stuff. So this one will take a while because basically from this point you'll get to see how much do I play this game and how much I got with some characters and stuff. One thing is the arena first place, which of course came in whenever the new arena teamed missions would come up. So I got first place about 16 times. I got into at least the top 4 here 38 times. And then I ringed out over 668 people in the arena mode. So exclusive, obviously, meaning because they were only there within the time the arena missions were available. I only got at least one ranked badge here, and that was really because one of my friends just wanted to play some matches in 2v2 ranked. So I gave him a hand. So this is the only thing from 2v, the ranks in general that I got, and that was just I got to the silver tier in the 2v2s arena battles back in season 2. So that's all there is. Then we go into the Agent Smith total damage dealt, which is up to, I want to say it was like 58,970 points. So there's a lot of damage dealt with Agent Smith. But in total, I got 207 wins with the character throughout MultiVersus lifespan. Aquaman also has like 13,732 damage dealt, but in total I only got like 32 wins with the character, so I didn't really get to play much with Aquaman in general. Arya, I don't know, I think Arya has this very damage dealt. I'm not entirely sure why is there a difference, but damage dealt I had 618. I also have her ring outs, which I rung out with her 280 times. With damage dealt being up to 37,357 with her. I did in total I got 188 wins with Arya. The thing doesn't show up here, but I have an assists where you help out someone else get a ring out in the game, which has up to 13,538 amount times, I think. The attacks is dodged, so it shows up I dodged over 30,573 times, so that's a lot of attacks I dodged. Banana Guard also has his weird thing. I don't know, I think it's just the highest dealt badge. I think that's what it's meant to say here with Arya. Yeah, I think the symbols. Yes, the highest damage dealt with Banana Guard was up to 1,288. While the total damage dealt I gave for the character would be up to 61,923 points, while overall wins, I win 180 times with Banana Guard. With Batman's ring outs, I got up to 598 ring outs with the character. With his total damage, I had the 64,559 damage dealt with Batman, and in total had 287 wins with Batman. Beetlejuice, with his ring outs, I've only got to 1,136 ring outs. With the total damage dealt, I have 161, 226. I'm not sure how the percentage. I've always been bad with telling the 6 digits names, or be a bit off, but that generally is how much damage I dealt with Beetlejuice. With in total I have 418 wins with Beetlejuice. Not too bad. Then we go into the ring outs with Black Adam, which goes into 182. His total damage dealt is 22,724, and in total I win 183 times with Black Adam. The boss's belt badge is basically the exact same, but it's just cosmetics, where do you want it to be with the Joker, for Joker instead, Agent Smith, or the Jason. That's the only real difference between the three. With me being able to defeat 30 bosses within Season 1, so that's kind of what that meant. Then we go into the highest damage dealt with Bugs Bunny, which is 2,130%. With ring outs, I have 1,769 ring outs with Bugs Bunny. In total damage, I think it's 180. I think it's 189. I don't know. I can't tell the difference. It's just 189, and another 157 damage dealt with Bugs Bunny. That's the main thing. With a total, I have 768 wins with Bugs Bunny. The Candy Hearts, which was back in the open beta with Valentine's Day, this came up with 32,685 heart candies. With double ring outs, I have 1,277. Finn's highest damage dealt would be with 590. With ring outs, I have 414. And total damage dealt with Finn is 48,543. And the amount of wins with him would be 223. Garnet's ring outs would be up to 681. Her total damage dealt would be 65,338. And her total wins would be just at 300. Gizmo's ring outs would be up to 301. His total damage dealt would be 28,224. And then the amount of wins with him would be up to 144. Here comes Harley Quinn with 3,052 highest damage dealt, with the ring outs having 1,341. The total damage dealt would be 138, and 620% of the total damage dealt. And I have one with her 533 times, which gives her now a 4-star ranking. I'm still not sure how 5 stars work when it comes to MultiVersus, but Harley is fairly well done by comparison. The highest damage I dealt is at 36,021. The holiday cookies, which came out in the Christmas event of 2022, similar to the Hearts candies, had 26,865. The highest damage dealt with the Iron Giant is at 701, with the ring outs for him being 436. With his total damage dealt being 39,912, and I ran 203 times with Iron Giant. Jake's highest damage dealt being 667, with his ring outs being for 405. Total damage dealt being 43,065. And I ran wins with him for 207 rounds. Next up is Jason, who's the highest damage dealt would be at 955. Jason had 154 or 433% damage, so I played Jason a lot. With him too coming up with 523 wins, so again Jason is also a fairly high played character as a result. Joker has his highest damage dealt at 851, with his total damage dealt as 95,109. For some reason his wins are a bit further down, so I'll get into that later. With LeBron's highest damage dealt being 766, with 338 ring outs, with 36,836 total damage dealt, and with 205 wins. Lola has only 78 ring outs, with her highest damage dealt being 11,668, and a total I've only win about 29 times. I do not really play as Lola often. Marceline has 861% highest damage dealt, with 835 ring outs, with her total damage being at 86,866, a kind of even number there. And in total, I've win about 317 times with her. Marvin. Total the highest damage dealt with him would be at 1,203, with ring outs being 2,067. Marvin's total damage being 302,897. I think that's how the number goes. I definitely play Marvin, with the wins with him being 1,058. So Marvin definitely, alongside Bugs, is a fairly high played character for me. Max characters. I think this mainly only really worked back in the open beta when I maxed out every character back then. But I guess that shows up 23 characters have been maxed out, I guess. Morty's highest damage dealt is at 1,156%, with 433 ring outs with the character, with the total damage dealt being 44,386, and in total I've win 201 times with Morty. Then comes Nubia with the 161 ring outs with her, with the total damage dealt being at 16,442 percent damage, and with only 57 wins. So she's doing a bit better compared to Lola and Aquaman, but I haven't played Nubia as much. Raven's highest damage dealt would be 1,027, with 246 ring outs, with 2,900, 600, and 7% high total damage dealt, and she has 110 wins. So Nubia Raven didn't do too bad. Next up is Rain Dog, whose highest damage dealt is at 1,074, with ring outs being over 407. With the highest total damage dealt with Rain Dog is at 47,000, say 4,700,000, 151% damage, and in total had 177 wins with Rain Dog. Rick, he has 1,035 highest damage dealt, with 707 ring outs, 71,620 total damage dealt, and with 352 wins with him. These ones are basically saying things with the ring out later, which I guess just shows how many ring outs you have, I think. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but that's really what it is. In total with ring outs, at the moment, because I'll probably still do a little bit more later after this video is uploaded, but in terms of ring outs, I have 33,178 ring outs. That's insane to think about. Samurai Jack has up to 567 ring outs, with 69,955% of total damage, and in total I've win about 206 times with Samurai Jack. Now, Season 1 first place twice came in when at certain points there were these little events. It wasn't entirely ranked because this was before ranked was included in Season 2. But there were like these special themed climb the ladder themed stuff with Season 1 back then. And I end up being on the first place twice. So this is kind of it, where I end up being in the top 10 later once at some point. I'm not entirely sure. I can't even remember, but that's what that one is. Then we have the Season 2 Objective Stars, which is just the things that throughout the season. You get these stars to get points by completing certain things within the Whips mode. You had one with Samurai Jackie or Beetlejuice, but it's the same thing. Same goes again with Season 4, where you can either between have Raven or Marceline's face instead. But with Season 2 Objective Stars, I had 517, and for Season 4, I had 667. Damn, just one short from 666. Shaggy, with his highest damage dealt being 945, with 1,076 ring outs. In total with Shaggy's total damage being at 124 and 33% highest damage. However, and in total I have 472 wins with Shaggy. Next up, Steven, who I wound up with him 300 and had him with 328 ring outs. The highest total damage dealt with him would be at 39,114, and in total have ran about 154 times with Steven. Stripe would have 768 ring outs. No highest damage dealt with him for some reason, but in total I've won about 362 times with Stripe. Superman with his highest damage dealt being 920, with 690 ring outs. The total damage dealt with him would be at 69,240% damage, and I win 295 times with Superman. Next up is Taz, who I had up to 836 ring outs. I have 82,923 total damage dealt, and I have win 369 times. And then here comes the Joker with his winnings with 308. The power inside, I don't know what this is about, to be honest, really. So, I don't know what this really is. In total, with the Powerpuff Girls, I have 610 ring outs with them, with total damage dealt being at 63,128. And then finally, 245 wins with the girls. This is the one that I'm definitely interested in finding out. So Tom and Jerry. 4,477 ring outs with Tom and Jerry. Okay, how do I go with this one? So 882 total damage dealt with the duo, with total 2,352 wins with just Tom and Jerry. If this doesn't say that I'm a Tom and Jerry main, I don't know what will, to be honest. I think I remember playing a custom lobby with a bunch of friends, and when one of my friends looked at the badges with Tom and Jerry, he's like, Jesus. I'm still not over that, to be honest. Like, yeah, this definitely tells you that I'm a Tom and Jerry main without saying I'm a Tom and Jerry main. But in total, the total amount of wins I've gotten up to this point of MultiVersus would be at 12,127 times. So, I definitely played a lot of MultiVersus. And again, that's considering Tom and Jerry take up like probably 20% of that, 20 to 25% of that win. So, yeah. Velma. Velma with her ring outs would be at 549. Total damage dealt with her be at 33,175. And I've win about 240 times with her. And finally, Wonder Woman with 494 ring outs. Total damage dealt would be at 63,197. And then finally, I have win 222 times with Wonder Woman. So, yeah, that's kind of it then after that. That's all my badges. That's every other major cosmetic you really got with MultiVersus up to that point. Because there's nothing else. There's kind of nothing else. You really have just these 5 core things, and then you have, you know, the taunts towards every character with stickers and the actual emotes themselves. So, yeah, that's kind of it with MultiVersus. That's everything else that MultiVersus had within the 3 years that the game had up to this point until in 2 weeks' time when the game officially closes down. So, yeah, because again, the only real thing is, of course, the rank stuff. The rank stuff is probably the only thing I'm really missing at this game, really, but I'm not really losing any sleep over the rank stuff, to be honest. I was even lucky to get that 2v2 badge, admittedly. Ranked has never been my main thing with MultiVersus or any game at all, to be honest. So I can kind of live a little peacefully, not knowing that I try too hard with the MultiVersus on that part. But yeah, that's kind of it with MultiVersus. Beyond that, that's all there is really to show off with MultiVersus before it's officially closed down. So I still got 2 more videos with MultiVersus in the works. Uh, Basically, one will be me playing as my main, so I'd be playing a bunch of rounds with my characters for the last time before the game officially closes. So of course, Tom and Jerry, Bugs, and Marvin will definitely be played before it ends. But there'll also be Beetlejuice, Garnet, Harley Quinn, Jason, Rick, and Stripe. Yeah, those have been my mains. It's not just solely Tom and Jerry, Bugs, and Marvin. I have in total, I think, 10 mains in this whole game. So, yeah, just for those who can, just will be one last video where we'll go through my mains in order, play them for a bunch of rounds in the 1v1, 2v2, maybe free-for-all. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But at least we'll get to play as these 10 characters one last time before MultiVersus officially closes down. So again, Beetlejuice, Bugs, Garnet, Harley, Jason, Marceline, Marvin, Rick, Stripe, and Tom and Jerry, all down one last time before the game officially comes to an end. So I'm definitely going to have some fun doing that. And then finally there's going to be the ranking video on the characters themselves, since I didn't do that with Season 4 yet. So once the ranking video probably comes up, that's probably it with MultiVersus after that. So more likely after this video goes up, I'll probably be already working on the mains video with these characters, as I mentioned before. And that's also, I'll probably still make a video related to MultiVersus after it officially closes down, because it will go offline for anyone who still keeps MultiVersus on the platform of choice. And I'm aware that there is the MultiVersus fan communities that are bringing MultiVersus back, like, or at least continuing it, like MultiVersus Infinite or MultiVersus Plus Beta. I know those projects are going through no problem. They've already got the methods to save MultiVersus data within your console of choice into PC with Steam or something along that line. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know they already have a way of working that out. I don't know if I will be making videos based on those, because my PC is kind of crap at playing games, to be honest, and I don't know, it's a little bit more complicated to figure out exactly on PC gaming. But I'll still try and do the best I can with those projects, like play MultiVersus away from the MultiVersus Infinite or Beta projects. So yeah, that's kind of it. Again, I'll get into more about my feelings about MultiVersus and the treatment towards Warner Brothers and player first games in the ranking video, more likely. But yeah, that's about it. That's literally everything I have in MultiVersus until it officially closes down. And just for the sake of archiving, just show off what they were while the game is still alive. So yeah, that's it. That's it with MultiVersus. So until then, I'll see you guys until my next video. See you guys later.